there's this idea and our economy is built on this model of perpetual growth.
Right.
Everything's got to be bigger and bigger and bigger. The house has got to be bigger.
Yeah.
The pool's got to be deeper. The yard has got to be bigger. The den is got to be bigger.
You got to know when to hand. You got to know when to. You got to know when to cash in.
It's the disease of more.
Right.
The disease of more.
Right.
And it was those Wall Street guys weren't poor before they started slinging these things. They weren't poor, but they got, in the last 10 to 15, 20 years, people in that line of work have gotten astronomically wealthy.
Sure.
A level of wealthy that most people don't understand. I'm talking about many of them are earning $1 billion in a calendar year or over $100 million in a calendar year.
Right.
Not 30 million, not $1 million a month, not $2 million a month, not $5 million a month. We're talking in cases 20, 30 million dollars a month. The guys at the top of those institutions, they have become so fucking dislocated from the city. There is a real fucking problem with that type of money.
So on the deepest level, it was the disease of more on the side of those who were getting the loans and on the side of people who were giving the loans.
Correct.
Right.
It's all across the board.
It's the American dream.
And I knew it was over when I was in a diner. In the same diner, I said to the waiter, I said, hey, my order at the diner is always mozzarella sticks. Also, I'd like a grilled cheese with turkey because I'm turning over a new leaf.
And then I asked the waitress, where's the closest Carvel?
Yeah. Grilled cheese with turkey and tomato. I'm turning over a new leaf. I didn't say bacon. I said turkey. Now, let me ask you a question. If bacon goes in a sandwich with the turkey, coleslaw, French fries, lightly cooked. But don't burn them. Don't give me the excuse that people aren't paying attention in there. So, so I said to the waiter, he goes, what do you guys do? I said, I do mortgages. He goes, what a coincidence. I do mortgages. And then the guy that was handing me my mozzarella sticks took out a card from his top pocket and put it on the diner table. And that's kind of the way I felt, about a year and a half ago in comedy when everyone you knew was a comedian.
Yeah.
The problem is when everybody, it's the secret's out. It's like, you ever go to a good restaurant?
So that's when you knew it was over, when everyone was getting in.
Yeah, well, you ever
when
go
it
to
got
oversaturated. Let me use a food example, which I don't talk about food a lot. You go to a good restaurant, it's great. Then you cruise by it on a Saturday night and it's jammed. And you go, I hope in a year from now we don't end up going back and going, this place sucks. But a lot of times that happens. A lot of times when it's the secret place and they're on the come up, they're on the rise, everything's great. But when it explodes and everybody's in and everybody's got their hand in the trough, then all of a sudden people start making stupid decisions. They start making bad decisions. And then people start making decisions that are nowhere near the actual decisions. Which is why communism and all these isms don't work, is because people are making decisions from 30,000 feet about disciplines they have no fucking idea about how they actually work. Right?
Right.
So when the government just goes, hey, find a way to lend to low-income people, and Wall Street goes, we got it, the government has no idea what's about to happen.
Right.
And then the ones that kind of have an inkling just keep their mouths shut because things are good. Bush goes, 70% of Americans own homes. Trump has done nothing but extend what Obama did, which is extend what Bush did, which is essentially just tell people to put it all on a credit card. That's just the whole thing. The economy is just on a card. We'll think about it later. I mean, we owe, what is it, 20 trillion
At
to China?
this point, it's you don't.
It's
the
fake
number,
now.
You can't even say the number anymore.
Yeah.
It's not an
They got to
existable
think
number.
of a new word in the English language to describe the amount.
The economy is just on the card. It's on layaway. It's like,
how does that
interest rates are
How
going to
does
have.
that? What happens when that culminates? Where does that end? As all things end, what happens? How do we reconcile?
I mean,
that?
inflation is where it ultimately leads to the devaluing of the dollar not being the world's reserve currency, our debt rating getting trashed to we're not a good debtor anymore.
So that means we're
losing
over as an empire.
Yeah, AAA bond rating and all that. Yeah, that's where it leads. And then it just leads to...
what you're talking about there is the actual rotting of the infrastructure of the empire.
Correct, yeah, correct.
That's inevitable.
Our inability to service our debt, our inability to... basically print the kind of money that we've been printing to keep everybody off the streets, which hasn't worked.
This is when you become a bad earner in the mafia and you get whacked.
You can become a bad earner. Yeah,
we're
you become a bad earner
right now. We're a bad earner. We got a lot of
It's
debts.
when somebody in the mafia movie starts looking at a picture of you from the good times with a sadness in their face.
Yeah.
You know, they take a picture, they look at you when you guys all went to like Aruba and you went, that was fun.
He used to earn.
That's where we're getting to.